Alright, before you scroll, answer this. Why do we skip the moments that might actually change us? Maybe you've done it too. Clicked away right before something important was about to speak to you. What if this is that moment? Stay for a few seconds, because this message might be exactly what your future self needs right now. 1 year. The psychology behind skipping opportunities. Have you ever noticed how quickly we scroll past something, a video, a quote, a message, only to later realize it was exactly what we needed? That tiny impulse to skip isn't random. It's actually your brain's way of protecting you from discomfort. Whenever something challenges your current beliefs or nudges you to grow, your mind labels it as not important, to keep you safe within the familiar. It's not laziness or lack of interest. It's human psychology at work. Our brains are wired for efficiency. When faced with constant information, we subconsciously filter out anything that doesn't feel instantly rewarding. That's why motivational messages or deep truths often get skipped. They don't give us that instant dopamine hit. But here's the thing. The most life-changing messages rarely feel comfortable at first. Growth often begins with something that feels inconvenient, boring, or even irrelevant, until you realize it was exactly what you needed to hear. Think about it. How many times have you ignored an opportunity, a person, or a lesson because it didn't seem right in the moment, only to regret it later? Sometimes the moment that doesn't grab your attention is the one that holds the key to your next level. Successful people understand this. They've trained themselves to pause, reflect, and explore before dismissing something that could be valuable. They know that curiosity opens doors while skipping shuts them. The next time you feel the urge to scroll away, ask yourself, what if this is the message I'm meant to hear today? That simple pause could change everything. It's in those small, seemingly insignificant decisions. Staying a few seconds longer, listening a little deeper. That transformation begins. Because often, the universe doesn't shout, it whispers. And only those willing to stop and listen truly hear it. So when you catch yourself wanting to skip something that stirs a feeling inside you, don't. Sit with it. Let it speak to you. You never know which moment, which word, or which thought could open the door to the version of you you've been waiting to become. 2. Why small moments create big change. It's easy to believe that transformation only happens through massive breakthroughs. Landing a dream job, meeting the right person, or making a big decision. But in truth, it's the small moments that quietly shape who we become. The tiny choices you make every day, what you watch, how you respond, when you choose to pause instead of scroll, are like seeds. Each one plants a direction for your future, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. Think about how rivers are formed. Drop by drop, over years, water carves through solid rock. The same principle applies to your life. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to recognize that every small action holds power. The decision to watch something inspiring instead of mindlessly scrolling, to take one deep breath before reacting, or to spend 5 minutes reflecting instead of complaining, these moments compound. They may seem invisible now, but over time, they create a version of you that's more focused, grounded, and fulfilled. We often underestimate the ripple effect of simple decisions because they don't give instant results. But the truth is, small, consistent actions build momentum. One mindful choice leads to another. One moment of awareness can shift your entire mindset. For example, choosing to listen to a message that uplifts you instead of skipping it could spark a thought. That thought becomes a belief, that belief becomes a habit, and that habit eventually becomes your reality. When people say, everything happens for a reason, it's not always about fate, it's about the chain reaction of your everyday choices. The big moments in life are simply the visible results of all the small, unseen decisions you made before. So don't overlook the little things. Every time you choose awareness over autopilot, you're rewriting your story. Quietly, powerfully, and consistently. The smallest yes to growth today can become the biggest transformation tomorrow. 3. Listening to your intuition. Your intuition is that quiet inner voice that nudges you when something feels right, or warns you when something doesn't. It's not loud, dramatic, or logical like your thoughts. It's calm, subtle, and often easy to ignore. In a world filled with constant noise, we've become experts at tuning out that inner guidance. Yet intuition is one of the most powerful tools you have for creating a life that truly aligns with who you are. Have you ever had a gut feeling about something, a person, a decision, or a situation that turned out to be right? That wasn't coincidence. That was your intuition speaking before your mind could analyze. Intuition works faster than logic because it draws from experience, emotion, and subconscious understanding all at once. It's your inner compass, quietly pointing you toward what's meant for you, even when you can't yet see the full picture. The problem is, many people confuse intuition with fear or overthinking. Fear feels anxious and urgent. It pushes you. Intuition, on the other hand, feels calm and clear. It pulls you. The more you slow down, the easier it becomes to tell the difference. When you're always rushing, scrolling, or overanalyzing, that inner voice gets drowned out. But when you take a moment to breathe, reflect, and listen, it becomes stronger and more recognizable. For example, maybe you felt drawn to click on this video for no obvious reason. That's intuition. Sometimes it leads you to the exact message or moment that unlocks your next step. Trusting that instinct doesn't mean having all the answers. It means having faith that your inner guidance is leading you somewhere meaningful. Start by honoring the small nudges. If something feels right, lean into it. If something feels heavy or forced, step back. The more you act in alignment with those feelings, the more your life begins to flow. Opportunities appear, clarity returns, and things start to make sense. Your intuition is never wrong. It's not about knowing the path. It's about trusting that the part of you that does know will guide you when you're ready to listen. 4. Breaking subconscious. Avoidance habits. Most people don't realize how often they run from the very things that could change their lives. It's not because they don't want growth. It's because their subconscious mind has been trained to avoid anything that feels uncertain, uncomfortable, or emotionally demanding. This is called subconscious avoidance, and it's one of the biggest hidden blocks to personal transformation. Avoidance often hides behind simple actions, skipping a deep video, ignoring a conversation that feels confronting, or procrastinating on a dream because it feels not the right time. In reality, it's your subconscious protecting you from potential discomfort or failure. It tells you, well, you're too tired, or this won't matter, when in truth, that moment could be the exact opportunity for your next breakthrough. The subconscious mind operates on autopilot, built from years of past experiences and emotions. When something feels unfamiliar, it automatically signals danger, even if it's good for you. That's why starting new habits, facing fears, or making big decisions can feel so heavy. You're not lazy or unmotivated. You're just following deeply ingrained mental patterns designed to keep you safe. The first step to breaking these habits is awareness. Begin to notice your patterns. What do you tend to avoid and why? Is it fear of failure, rejection, or change? Once you identify the emotional trigger, you take away its hidden power. Instead of unconsciously reacting, you can consciously choose to respond differently. For example, the next time you're about to skip a message that feels too real or uncomfortable, pause. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding right now? That tiny moment of reflection weakens the avoidance pattern. Over time, your mind learns that discomfort isn't danger. It's growth. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens right at the edge of it. Each time you face something, instead of avoiding it, you rewire your subconscious to see courage instead of fear, opportunity instead of threat. Breaking avoidance habits isn't about forcing yourself to act. It's about gently retraining your mind to trust that you can handle the unknown. And once you do, you'll notice how much lighter, freer, and more open your life begins to feel. 5. Recognizing signs of inner resistance. Inner resistance is that invisible force that shows up the moment you try to grow, change, or step into something new. It's the voice that says, not now, you're not ready, or what's the point? It's sneaky because it often sounds logical, like self-protection, but in reality, it's fear disguised as reason. Recognizing it is the key to moving beyond it. Resistance can appear in many forms. Sometimes it's procrastination, You suddenly feel too busy for something that matters. Other times it's overthinking. You start doubting every decision, convincing yourself to wait for the perfect time. It can even show up as fatigue, distraction, or emotional numbness. You might scroll aimlessly, avoid people, or tell yourself you're just not in the mood. But underneath, it's often your inner self resisting change. Why does this happen? Because your brain associates safety with the familiar. Even when your current situation isn't fulfilling, it's known and therefore feels safe. Growth, however, is unknown, and that uncertainty triggers discomfort. Resistance isn't a sign you're weak or unready, it's proof you're on the edge of transformation. The most powerful way to deal with inner resistance is to name it. When you catch yourself avoiding something that could move you forward, a hard conversation, a project, a message that hits too close to home, pause and say, "This is resistance." That simple acknowledgement turns an unconscious reaction into a conscious choice. You shift from being controlled by it to observing it. For example, imagine you come across a video that stirs something deep inside you. Your first instinct might be to skip it, to distract yourself. That's resistance saying, "This might change you," and change feels scary. But if you stay, breathe, and let yourself listen, you begin to dissolve the fear. Resistance doesn't mean stop. It means go slower, but keep going. It's your inner signal that you're stretching beyond your comfort zone, and that's where real growth begins. When you learn to recognize resistance not as an enemy, but as a messenger, it transforms from a wall into a doorway, one that leads directly to your next level of strength, clarity, and self-trust. 6. How fear disguises itself as disinterest. One of the most deceptive tricks of the mind is how fear often wears the mask of disinterest. You might think you're simply not in the mood, not feeling it, or not interested, when in truth your fear is quietly convincing you to turn away from something that could change your life. It's a defense mechanism, subtle, logical, and incredibly persuasive. When something challenges your comfort zone, your subconscious doesn't always respond with visible fear like panic or anxiety. Instead, it whispers excuses that feel harmless. "This isn't for me," or "I'll watch it later." That's not apathy. That's avoidance in disguise. Deep down, something inside you senses potential growth, and growth feels uncomfortable. So your mind translates that discomfort into a false sense of boredom or disinterest to protect you from the unknown. Think about moments when you felt an unexpected pull toward a book, video, or opportunity, but brushed it off. Later, you realize it was exactly what you needed. That's because fear had stepped in, using the easiest strategy possible, convincing you not to care. It's clever because indifference feels safe. It doesn't demand action, reflection, or vulnerability. The key to breaking this illusion is awareness. The next time you catch yourself saying, "I don't care," or "This doesn't matter," pause and look closer. Does it truly not matter? Or does it actually matter so much that it scares you? Often, the things that have the most power to transform us are the ones we instinctively resist. For example, you might feel an urge to watch a message like this, but then feel a wave of detachment or distraction. That's your fear of change trying to keep control. When you recognize this, you reclaim your power. You can choose to stay present even if it feels uncomfortable, and that small choice can shift your entire trajectory. True courage isn't about being fearless. It's about recognizing when fear is pretending to be something else and choosing to move forward anyway. The next time you feel disinterested in something that tugs at your intuition, take a moment to listen. It might just be fear's clever disguise trying to hold you back from your next breakthrough. 7. Reclaiming focus in a distracted world. We live in a time where distraction has become the new normal. Every second, our attention is pulled in 1,000 directions. Notifications, messages, endless scrolling, and constant noise. The problem isn't just that we're distracted. It's that we've forgotten what it feels like to be deeply focused. Focus is more than concentration. It's presence. It's the ability to give your full energy to this exact moment without splitting it between what's next or what's missing. The truth is, most people don't lose focus because they're lazy. They lose it because the world is designed to steal it. Your attention is the most valuable currency today. Every app, video, and headline competes for it. And in that chaos, your own voice, your intuition, clarity, and creativity gets drowned out. Reclaiming focus isn't just about productivity. It's about taking back control of your mind and your life. To begin, you have to become intentional with where your attention goes. Ask yourself, what truly deserves my focus right now? Not what feels urgent, but what feels meaningful. When you catch yourself mindlessly scrolling or jumping from one distraction to another, pause and bring your attention back to your breath, your purpose, or your current task. That single act of awareness breaks the automatic cycle. Here's something powerful. The quality of your life mirrors the quality of your focus. When you give scattered energy to everything, you feel drained and disconnected. But when you channel your focus toward growth, healing, or learning, you begin to feel grounded and alive again. Even watching a meaningful video with full presence, without multitasking or skipping, can create a subtle shift in your energy. Start small. Create moments of stillness in your day. Even 5 minutes of silence or undistracted attention can reset your brain. The more you practice choosing focus over distraction, the stronger your mental discipline becomes. Over time, you'll notice something amazing. Life starts to slow down, clarity returns, and your intuition grows louder. In a world that constantly demands your attention, focus becomes your superpower. It's not just how you stay productive. It's how you stay awake to your own potential. 8. The power of micro-decisions. Big transformations are rarely the result of one grand event. They're built on hundreds of small, almost invisible choices you make every single day. These tiny, seemingly insignificant actions are called micro-decisions, and they quietly shape the direction of your life far more than you realize. The decision to wake up 10 minutes earlier, to watch something meaningful instead of scrolling, or to take one deep breath before reacting, each of these moments adds up. The beauty of micro-decisions is that they don't demand massive effort or overnight change. They only require awareness. Every small choice is like a single brushstroke in the larger painting of your life. On its own, it might not look like much, but over time, those strokes create a picture of focus, growth, and transformation. For example, think about how habits form. You don't suddenly become disciplined or unmotivated. It's a slow build of micro-decisions, choosing to stay consistent, to try again after failing, or to pause instead of quit. Each one either strengthens your direction or slowly pulls you away from it. The power lies in recognizing that even your smallest yes or no has weight. Micro-decisions also determine how you respond to challenges. When life feels uncertain, you may not have control over everything, but you do control your next small move. Do you choose to learn from the moment or complain about it? Do you act with patience or frustration? Do you keep scrolling or do you stop to listen to something that might shift your mindset? Those moments define your path more than any big dramatic turning point ever could. Over time, these small conscious choices compound into powerful results. A single day of effort might not show visible change, but 100 days of small, intentional decisions will transform who you are and how you live. It's like compound interest for your soul. The little actions you take now create massive returns later. So instead of waiting for the perfect moment to make a big leap, focus on the next micro-decision in front of you. Choose awareness over autopilot, because the truth is, your future self isn't built in one moment. It's built one small, deliberate choice at a time. 9. Trusting divine timing or alignment. Have you ever noticed how some things seem to fall into place effortlessly, like meeting the right person at the right time, or hearing the exact message you needed just when you needed it? That's not coincidence. That's divine timing at work. It's the quiet, unseen alignment of life's events that guides you toward what's meant for you, even when you don't fully understand it yet. Trusting divine timing means releasing the need to control everything and learning to flow with life rather than fight against it. We often get frustrated when things don't happen according to our schedule. The job doesn't come through, the plan falls apart, the path feels delayed, but sometimes those delays aren't punishments, they're protection. Life has a way of rearranging circumstances so that when what you desire arrives, you're actually ready to receive it. Imagine if everything you ever wanted came the moment you asked for it. It might overwhelm you. Growth needs space. Divine timing ensures that opportunities, people, and experiences show up not when you want them, but when you can handle them. That's alignment. When your energy, mindset, and readiness meet the opportunity meant for you. You've probably experienced it before. Moments when something didn't make sense until later, when you look back and thought, now I understand why that had to happen. That's divine timing revealing itself in hindsight. The key is to cultivate faith in the in-between, to trust that even in waiting, something meaningful is unfolding behind the scenes. The best way to align with divine timing is by staying open and grounded. Instead of forcing outcomes, focus on becoming the kind of person who's ready for what they desire. When you work on your energy, your mindset, and your peace, you naturally align with what's meant for you. So when life feels slow or uncertain, remind yourself, delays aren't denials, and detours often lead to better destinations. You don't need to chase what's aligned. It will always find you. The moment you start trusting the flow instead of doubting it, you'll begin to see how every pause, every challenge, and every redirection was perfectly timed for your highest growth. 10. A final motivational challenge to act now. If you've made it this far, take a moment to realize something powerful. Most people never do. They skip, they scroll, they tell themselves they'll come back later. But you didn't. You stayed. And that alone means something inside you is ready. Ready to rise, to grow, and to move forward. So here's your challenge. Act now. Don't let this message just be another piece of content you watch and forget. Let it be a turning point. Action doesn't have to be dramatic or perfect. It simply has to be real. Maybe that means finally starting the thing you've been postponing, a goal, a conversation, a new habit. Maybe it's as simple as committing to stay consistent for one more day, or deciding to treat yourself with more kindness starting today. The smallest act of courage can set an entirely new energy in motion. Remember, clarity doesn't come before action. It comes through it. You don't need to have the whole plan. You just need to take the first step with faith. Waiting for the right time is how dreams fade quietly in the background. The truth is, the right time is never in the future. It's always now. So take one small step before this day ends. Write it down, say it out loud, or do something physical that represents your commitment. Don't wait for motivation. Create it by moving. Every action you take, no matter how small, sends a signal to the universe that you're ready for what's next. This is your moment. You've heard the message. You've felt the pull. Now it's time to answer it. Don't let this be another video that passes by. Let it be the start of your next chapter. The one where you stop waiting for change and start becoming it. You made it to the end. That means you're ready for change. Remember, I am aligned, focused, and unstoppable. Comment this below and keep your energy rising with quantum power.